My dear twin, accept this gift. A gift of abundance, my last drop of dew. Let all things flourish, whether graceful or malign. If thou covetest the throne, impress my vision upon thine heart. In the new world of thy making, all things will flourish, whether graceful or malign. But remember well, quench thy thirst throughout thy frame, blossom and virgin time and again. Grow larger, stronger, till the day cometh, when thou canst share in my dream.
Hello everyone, hope you're all having a good day, and if you're not having a good day, it's gonna become a much better day. The DLC has been finally announced for Elden Ring, The Shadow of the Erdtree. This sounds much better than Barbarians of the Badlands, that fake DLC name that we got. But yeah, From Software today, they just posted on their Twitter and on their website the new DLC, and we didn't get a lot of details. The only details we got was the name, the logo of the DLC, which is also very important, and the things that I'm going to talk about, and the concept art showing something about the DLC, and saying that there is still more news that will come at a later time. So there is a lot to actually talk about from a single picture, and you'll be surprised by how many details we can actually get from all of that. So without further ado, let us get right into it. Now, the first major thing that we noticed was the character that is riding our horse Torrent. Usually they use the set, which is the fingerprint set for the marketing of the game, but here they used a very different looking character, and I think this is very intentional. But if you zoom in on the picture, you will see that it is a blonde person with a very noticeable hairstyle. And not surprisingly, this hairstyle matches perfectly with the Miquella hairstyle we see in the intro of Elden Ring. Even the clothes look a little bit similar, but the hairstyle is like a dead giveaway that this is probably Miquella. Now, this is pointing to a lot of things, and one of those things is that one of the most rumored ideas for the DLC is that we will be getting inside Miquella's dream. And there were a lot of theories that there's a lot of stuff that we're relating to Miquella that should have been in the original game, even as cut content. We have unused weapons like the Abundance Twin Blade and the Abundance and Decay Twin Blade. And there is also a lot of dialogue that were recovered by members of the community that show that Miquella should have had a bigger role in the story of the game. Also, one of the other most noticeable parts in the image is the tree. Now, from what we know in the lore is that Miquella has created some sort of an alternative, you can say, for the Erdtree, which is called the Erdtree, which is an area that we visit in the game and we fight Melina in it. And if we look at them side by side, from the image in the concept art and the faraway shot from the game, you can see that they kind of look similar in shape. However, the Erdtree in the game did not quite achieve its purpose. But maybe this in Miquella's dream, he is imagining that it has quite worked. Or we can't say that it worked, because from the look of it, it looks like some sort of a decaying tree, and we can sort of see some golden liquid or effect inside the decay. And could this be the abundance dew that Miquella has been being talked about a lot? This is something very interesting to think about, and I think it's pretty much confirmed that the DLC will somewhat to some degree be about Miquella. However, another thing that we have to take into consideration is the name of the DLC, and specifically also the logo of the DLC, which is Shadow of the Erdtree. Now, a shadow might not literally mean an actual shadow. It could relate to something that's also in the lore of Elden Ring. Basically, the shadows are faithful servants that are given by the Greater Will to the Empyreans, which are basically the godly beings like Melina, Ranni, and Marika, and Miquella. And also another very mysterious Empyrean that we have mentioned in the lore is the Dusk-Eyed Queen. Now, these Empyreans, they are given quote-unquote shadows by the Greater Will, which are wolf-like creatures that are loyal to their respective Empyreans. But in terms of those shadows, we only meet Blaidd, which is Ranni's shadow, and Malekith, which is Marika's shadow. But we never meet Melina's or Miquella's or even the Dusk-Eyed Queen, which is also one of the many lore points that are being talked about and theorized upon that it could be expanded upon the DLC. Now, there is also something that's very noticeable in the logo of the DLC, which is the letter O. You can see how the letter has some sort of branches or some sort of spikes at the ends of the O's, which is very noticeable in the logo. And it can mean many things. It can either signify branches, which is supporting the tree that we are seeing, or it could be something linked to something that we have also been theorizing upon, which is Melina's tattoo on her eye. Now, Melina is one of the most mysterious characters in Elden Ring because at the very end of the game, for the Lord of Frenzy ending, we see that she is still alive and she has this weird eye now, and that tattoo on her eye also is a very weird significance, which can also be linked to Ranni's tattoo. So there's a lot going on with that character, so maybe these details on the O letter, they signify those eye tattoos, which could link with the Dusk-Eyed Queen, so that's also a very interesting take on what we can have in the DLC. Now, for the entrance of the DLC, I think, for me, it's very clear it's gonna be in this area, either at the bridge after the Mog boss fight, or using Miquella's cocoon and hand to basically enter the DLC. I think it's very apparent if the DLC about Miquella, it's gonna be somewhere around here. Now, in terms of other details, we can see some ghosts of the architecture and the graves that we see around in the lands between. We have Torrent, and I'm not sure if this is like something that's a new area, because if you look at it, it can kind of look like it's sort of its own world, you know? There aren't like any surrounding stuff. It might be because it's a concept art, but I think they're also like intending to show that this is a completely separate realm, which would make sense if we are entering Miquella's dream, and I'm really excited to see like when they release a trailer or at the actual release date for the DLC. So yeah, from all of the things that we can see from the small concept art, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna be getting some sort of a trailer very soon, and more explanations on what the DLC is going to be about, the new weapons, new armor, spells, the usual trailer marketing stuff, but it seems like From Software is not like very keen on marketing a lot about the DLC, so we're going to have to be waiting probably quite a bit until we see something very solid. And for the release date of the DLC, I'm imagining something around June to August, September, something around this time. That's just like a very prediction on my part. I don't know, this is how I feel it would make sense to release something like this. And hopefully we will see hopefully with the scale that we are seeing from Elden Ring itself and the time it took to create this DLC and even announce it, is that it's going to be one of the largest scale DLCs that we have ever seen in any Souls game before, because Elden Ring on itself is an open world game, so imagine if the DLC is going to be matching and competing with the scale of the original game. They're going to be doing some really amazing stuff, and honestly I really can't wait to see how the story and how it's gonna link up everything with the main game, and just very excited overall for the thing. So yeah, this is all of the stuff that I have noticed and theorized upon in the DLC. If you have any other opinions or theories, please put them down in the comments. I would love to read some of them. And yeah, make sure to check out my other videos like the Garden of Eyes mod, the Harry Potter mods, and there is a lot of Elden Ring content that's coming to the channel very soon. So make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.